Hey, how's it going guys? Jaysea here. Today we're going to be looking at one of the highest rated bard players in the world. He might actually be the best one. He has multiple accounts in Challenger in the EUS server. 2 of them in fact. And this one, for some weird reason, a few days ago I looked at it and he was at 1200 LP. As you guys can see, the most recent game is at 1214 LP Challenger, which puts him at rank 6, the current rank 6 in the EUS server. And that was literally the last game he played 4 days ago, so I'm not sure what happened, or did decay kick in, or something happened to his count, but he obviously didn't lose all the way to 700 LP. As for the build guys, he generally goes for the support item, Lucidity Boots, and then he'll go for Cosmic Drive. He also runs this rune page all the time, and the other exception is he sometimes grabs a Frozen Heart, or maybe even Banshee's Veil, in case the enemy has a lot of AP. Then he leaves the 6th slot open for just spamming wards. And with that said, let's jump into the game. Right, so jumping to one of his most recent games, we can see that he's going into topside, collecting some chimes, zooming really fast around the map. So now he has 2 chimes. And if anyone knows, please let me know, why does he go into the topside away from his bot lane? Because I noticed that in the other games, when he was on blue side, he was going to the top as well, away from his lane, collecting some chimes on the other side of the map. Let me know if you guys know the reason being in the comments below. Also in this video, we're hopefully going to be finding out, looking into some insight as to why he is hovering around 12 to 1300 LP Challenger in the EUS server, and how we can copy or learn a few things and implement that into our own games. So hopefully you guys appreciate that, and also be sure to drop a like and comment if you enjoy the series and want me to do more of these. So if you have any other champions you want me to do, I'll find the best player that I can possibly find and replay and just go over it and try to learn a few things about it. And also, as for reference, he is 1200, 1300 in the last few months, because that's on his tier graph, according to his tier graph anyway. He wants to go for a leash into bot lane. I noticed one thing is he's been running a lot of exhaust games right now, but in the past he's been running a lot of ignite games. So we're going to be facing a Jinx and a Lux. And this Lux is going to go for a poke. He's going to go for a retaliation auto into a Q, which is really nice. He also dropped a ward in the bush. And then not much is going to be happening right now, because we're with a non-conventional laner, which is Echo. I don't know why Echo bot, I don't know. But maybe it's just going to be another level of difficulty for the bard player to handle, as basically you just have to stand really far back and just do absolutely nothing. And because you're the only range champion, you're going to have to... Oh, that's really well played by the bard. You know how most bard players will probably be throwing his Q to the Lux, because Lux is the one that attacked first, the one that's standing closest. But because Jinx walks up, and if you wasted your Q on the Lux, didn't stun her, it just slows her, and she's already in range to attack you, then you're going to be taking a lot of damage from that Jinx. But because he stunned that Jinx, he's going to be taking way less damage than he would have. So that was really well played by Lapras, actually. So we can see that there's really not much you can do or to work with a Echo early levels, because all he can do is throw his Q out and then stand really far back. So he's just going to put a W. It looks like there's going to be a lot of on my way pings by what's his name again? What's this guy's name again? Okay, he's the one that has a billion bugs, but he's going to come in for the gank. And then we have a slow from the bard, going to make the Jinx flash and heal. And then now, ooh, the Q and also W lands from the Jinx and Lux. And then Lux ignites, going for that kill, but then doesn't quite get it. Gets chunked out by the Echo. Electrocute proc. And we're going to see a lane getting pushed into bot. And I'd wager, or actually we can see, because we're in spectate mode, that Jinx has went back and is healing up. That's really useful information, although at this point they will probably know, because Jinx isn't under tower anymore. But it's useful information to know if you're like earlier here and you're pushing in a wave. You want to know if they backed or not, because if they're already backed, you want to push in right away. So now he picks up, I believe that is a chime, and see what he's going to do. He's going to put a W down and then recall. And we can see some on my way pings by the Lux. Looks like Lux is going to go for an interrupt here. Echo goes in with W, gets hit by the trap and the W from the Jinx. Bard is going to go for this really OG portal all the way to safety, but doesn't quite save the Echo. This is a really neat trick, guys. Okay, so if you stand in this alcove here, you can go straight to the tower. I'm sure many of you know this. I've seen this before, but it's still a really neat trick that I will always, and probably most of you always, forget about, and it wouldn't cross your mind. Oh, there is the Gankarino portal, and also Echo, yeah, he teleported. No wonder he's over there. I was like, he just died. Oh, that's a nice stun. Guaranteed kill right there. Really nice pickup. Really nice portal, actually. And then Bod swings around over here. Gets a W on the Kindred. By the way, Bard is running Guardian, so whenever you W someone and then you take damage, you instantly get a shield. Even if your ally is really far away, as long as you can just W them with range. And I think that's part of the reason why he also goes for Cosmic Drive, is just because he needs to spam his Q and W throughout the whole fight. So Cosmic Drive would definitely help alleviate the long cooldowns that Bard has. 14 seconds, you know, really long. 10 seconds, really long. I'm sure those will go down with CDR, so that's exactly what it's going to do. And I believe he does rush Lucidity Boots into a Locket, into either Frozen Heart or Cosmic Drive, but usually he'll get those two in most of his games, like 80% of the games, or maybe more. And then I think occasionally like Banshee's Veil, if there's a lot of AP threats. There is a Castan on the enemy team, so essentially if this Castan gets really fed, he will go for that. And they also have Lux. If Lux gets fed, Castan gets fed, I'm sure he'll go for more MR. But most of the time, it's the AD threats that are the important ones to deal with, so Frozen Heart is the way to go. Also, this really long portal, very nice to get to lane faster. I'm sure like 99% of players that play League would have seen this one, but maybe not everyone's seen this one, or maybe they just forgot about it. So if you're playing Bard, if you get autofill into support, you might want to consider getting this portal as part of your repertoire. Really good. And then after that, you can go around and then help the jungler across here and then clean up, so that was really well played. Also, you just want to know that when you aim your Q, okay, there's actually action happening, or W goes in, gets the stun on the Lux, but Echo has to back away because he's low. Kane clears up that ward and this bot lane's staying. One thing to note about Bard's Q, right, is if say the enemy is standing here next to the wall and you are up here, you can Q in between the champion and the wall and then it'll stun because the champion's near the wall. Same goes if they're standing next to a caster minion and they're not behind it or in front of it. You can also stun them by shooting your Q in between the caster minion and the enemy champion. So see how he attempted that? He attempted to get the Q on the Kane while also touching that wall. Unfortunately, it didn't work out and he get the stun off. That's a bit unfortunate. The other thing I've noticed from watching Lathyrus' games is that he's really fast on the map awareness. Oh, that's really silly of the Kassadin. That's a bit of also he's going Bramblevest. What? Kassadin Bramblevest? He's not going to scale. Okay, so anyways, what I noticed about Lathyrus is when he's in lane and say his jungler is here farming, right? Blue, Gromp, Wolves. And then enemy jungler even just shows up on the map. He instantly turns around and goes. Like the moment he just shows up. So he's really good at responding or like having lane priority. He's not really having, it's not even lane priority. He's just really fast at responding and moving. Like, sort of like a pro player, right? You just have to respond really quickly, and getting to the fight like just 5 seconds earlier is going to make or break a game normally, because if you can shut down a jungler or if you can get your jungler ahead, he's going to impact the rest of the map, and then it's just lights out for the enemy team. And also the same goes if you go into the mid lane, and because you're roaming a lot faster, you're moving a lot faster, you're going with the jungler everywhere along the map, you're going to pick up a lot more kills, a lot more assists, you're going to get strong, and also your team's going to get really strong as well. Oh, Echo's going in. I think he was looking at the map or something. Yeah, Echo just goes in because there's a big minion wave, so you want to go a bit more aggressive so you can just shove this wave in. And then let's see what's going to happen. Goes for portal in because notice this Lux is a bit overextended trying to ward and scout out the Echo. Picks up the kill. Really nice. I'm curious to see if Bard goes for a roam or goes for a dive here, because it is a 1v2. So he has two options here. Oh, okay. So what he was trying to do there was Zhonya's the Jinx there and then line up a stun. Like somewhere around here, you can line up a stun, even though it's not perfect. Like Jinx was standing here where the Echo is standing, but you can, if the Q touches the tower and the Jinx, they both get stunned. Well, just Jinx gets stunned, but you know what I mean. So you don't have to be perfectly aligned, you can just be side by side. So right now he's just going to go from the tower with the sweeper, go around in a circle and clear all the wards. Stuns the Kayn, but Kayn OP because his Q while stunned it still works, so basically a stun didn't happen. So it gets stun on Kassadin, presses W on the Echo and runs away. Ooh, that Echo is so low. Gets a really beautiful stun on Jinx. Jinx might have Rocket. No, she does not have Rocket. Oh, she does not have the mana for Rocket. Oh, they go for a dive. This is looking very tragic. It's 7-7 though, so the enemy team is up in gold. But it's a very, very close game, although this might swing now that the tower plating is also going to go down. It's going to be more and more in favor of the blue team. Okay, so now that Bard's respawned, it looks like he goes for a Lucidity Rush into Kindle Gem, Null Magic Mantle, and a Cloth Armor. Presumably he's going to go for a Locket into a Cosmic Drive. Usually it's a Cosmic Drive, and if maybe he needs some defensives early, or go for Frozen Heart. Let me know what you guys think about Deadman's. I remember back in the day, Deadman's was the way to go. Back when I made a Bard video and I was looking up Bard videos and all that, I remember Deadman's Bard with Ignite Electrocute was the thing. But now it looks like it's Guardian Bard, so less on the aggression, more on the defense, and less on the move speed too. So now he's going to go all the way to top lane, while Echo's down there by himself. He's going to go for a portal into a ult. Gets the stun on the Renekton, really nice, well played. And looks like, yeah, oh, Viego teleports in. Picks up the kill on Renekton and is going to try to get the stun, or maybe go back because now that Kayn's here. Goes for it anyway, gets another stun on the Kassadin. Maybe Kindred can pick up a kill, really nice. Beautiful roam by Bard. I am very curious to see that, maybe because nothing much is happening, he's going to leave his bot lane alone to go for this roam. Let's see what he does now. So he stays around. Goes for a portal into a flash Q, or Q flash rather. I believe it's a Q flash. If his Q works just like Lux, it should be a Q flash. So that way you can start the animation, and once you arrive with the flash, your Q instantly goes off, so it's a lot harder to dodge. Okay, Kindred gets out safely and Bard recalls. And really early, 12 minutes, Locket. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. And we can see that Bard is at 72 AP. That is crazy amount of AP for the fact that he just has a Frostfang or a Shard of True Ice. Okay, so with Shard of True Ice, that's enough AP to get 150 by the time he gets Cosmic Drive completed. That's pretty crazy. Especially because he's rushing Locket, and he has enough AP for that. Usually you get something like a Ludens or a... Usually go for like Ludens or Everfrost into a Cosmic Drive, but he's literally going Iron Locket into Cosmic Drive. That's crazy, and he can activate it. But most people would need like a full AP item before they can buy Cosmic Drive to activate. Sort of like the Warmogs effect, you know? You need like a certain amount of AP, certain amount of health, sorry, in order to activate it. But he just straight up Chad modes and just goes for 400 gold support item into activating. Oh. So portal's over and joins the fight. Gets a really nice kill. He's probably going to go down to Kassadin. Oh, portal's out. Gets the stun off. Oh, forces the R flash from the Kassadin. Not bad. Actually, the best thing you can hope for there, because he was guaranteed dead. But he played that so well. He queued while the Kassadin was still sort of like in the wall, but because it touches the wall first and touches Kassadin inside the wall, it gets the stun off anyway. So that's another really interesting thing to note, is you can stun them just like that. See Kassadin teleporting in to chase this Viego. 3v1, Vigo's probably gonna die. R is out, no blast cone there, unfortunate, so yep, he's very dead. Let's see. Ruby Crystal first. That's not a Cosmic Drive, so maybe he's gonna go for some mystery item. So he goes around collecting chimes. Probably going to see a lot of that in this game. As every good Bard player should be doing. because you get that free movement speed, so you can even go a long way around the map just to collect extra chimes, but you'll get there just as fast as the short way because of all the chime movement speed. And essentially like a support Nasus, right? You infinitely scale with chimes. So now he's standing actually outside the bush, which is next level, and then gets the stun on Kassadin. So one thing to note is that why he did that, for those that don't know, is Echo is getting a solo amount of gold on the tower, and that's going to be massive because if Bard stands next to it, you share. And if you want, like, if you really trust your ADC, especially in like top 10 challenger, you definitely want to give all the gold to the ADC so they're just that much stronger. That gold is going to be way more impactful. So it goes for ult on the back line and then just stun the front line. W's the carries. Go straight forward. So now he's going to hover behind this Vigo Jinx. Collect more chimes. Maybe we might loop around and help this guy out if he gets chased. So he drops a ward and recalls. Ah, that's what we like to see. So now that that fight went really well, I think he's deciding it's time. It's time for the Cosmic Drive, or that CDR, that AP. He has 123 AP right now. So Kindred picks up Dragon and then the fight breaks out. Gets the stun on Renekton, gets an auto off of that, walks away. Okay, we can see that Bard is now moving into the mid lane, potentially responding to this Jinx in mid as well, trying to knock down the tower. Oh, look at that splash. Those splashes, such long range, it got both of their bone plating. So, you see the pings from Quinn. So it goes in, gets the slow on Jinx, pops his locket, and Jinx goes down. So he instantly is able to respond to those pings from Quinn and goes in before the Quinn can arrive. And that way, it's just enough time to catch a free kill. So that's like the difference is, you'd expect a low elo Bard who's like relatively maybe half, 60% health to just stand there. Just stand there and then wait for Quinn to go all the way in and probably just die or not catch, or like it'll go a lot further, right? But if because you're already here and you're already slowing Jinx, she's stuck here. And then it becomes a much smoother kill because Jinx has to use all her abilities on you, or depending on the game, it might be a different champion, use all their abilities, and then Quinn comes in for the free kill. Even if you die, it's okay, because that's what supports unfortunately are like. But although nowadays supports are so strong, could be stronger than a mid laner, could be stronger than a top laner, they're just way too tanky and do way too much damage in some games, in some cases. Not like the good old days. So it looks like Bard is going to go for one of those safety wards here in the bush down here to protect the Quinn. And is going to ward the river as well and then join up with his Echo, APC Echo. Can also see that Echo is doing quite well for himself. 140 CS, 19 minutes in a bot lane matchup with Rocket Belt and also 2 Blasting ones. Aether Wisp. Looks like the Aether Wisp and Blasting one would build into a Lich Bane, no? Maybe he misclicked the Blasting one, it should have been a Sheen. So that might be the case. We're going to see 1600 gold, it should... Yeah, there's the Lich Bane. So now this Blasting one will become something else. He probably had to sit on a lot of gold for a while. I had to wait a bit longer than usual. But especially if you're forced back to base very often while misbuying, then it's really bad. Now he joins the fight. He hasn't used his ult yet. He hasn't used his W yet. Guess he didn't find the right opportunity. Gonna try to go for a catch here. Diego comes in. He's really looking for that catch. So he saves all his cooldowns for that catch. So you gotta go for a journey out. There's the journey. There's the Q. Very nice. Beautiful. He lives with 1 HP basically. That is so well played. So he's really patient with his cooldowns. You don't just randomly throw your Q. You throw it with a purpose. So now you go for the portal all the way. Get to lane a bit faster. You can see that he's going for Kindle Gem. So these are trademark items for Cosmic Drive. Also, right now he has a staggering amount of AP. 128. That's a lot of AP. Like, I wonder where is he getting his AP from, because I don't believe chimes give AP. Nothing's giving him AP other than this Shard of True Ice and Fiendish. That's like 75 AP. How did he get 128? There's some questions. Not a bard main. Don't know these basics, so do forgive me. But I'm sure to find out once the comment section start going off at me. Alright, so he goes for a magic journey out of there. Oh, also, I think you guys will appreciate this. I press N on the keyboard and then this pops up above the minimap so you can see the objectives coming in. So Bard is back here. Someone has a sweeper up to disable any enemy wards. Just tossing out Q along the wall. As long as you get a stun on the enemy, that's really huge with these Qs. Just make sure you use it for a stun, not for damage. And not just to blindly whiff it, you know? You want to throw it with a purpose. Throw Q with a purpose. That's your only ability. Other than that, you're just autoing. So you want to use your Q to set up things. I noticed what he really likes to do is he likes to ult the enemy as long as he can get like 2 enemies. And then he can reposition himself into a Q to double stun. And that's really huge in teamfights. Even if you unfortunately catch 1-0. Well, let's see what he does. Does he ult here? Because he's walking in. Gets a W on Echo. Let's see what else he does. Goes for an ult on the Jinx. Maybe gets a stun off right there. Beautiful, but it wasn't needed, but still beautiful because that would have been a free kill. Oh, he gets that Q and gets the Q kill. That's really nice. Gets the shutdown on Kane. Journeys away and then Blast Cones out to safety. Right now, 4 of his teams dead compared to 2 of the enemy. Gets a W on himself. Q stun. Oh, he waited on the Q for Renekton to get closer. Most of bard players, I'm pretty sure, would have just panicked. Like, Kassan comes onto you, you just like Q him. Just to slow and then run away. But obviously Renekton would have been there, W you and you're dead. But because he waited for Renekton, get the double Q, he's safe. That's like a life or death situation. If you just randomly throw your Q out, you're gonna die. But if you hold it for a stun, then you're gonna live. Okay, so now he completes his Cosmic Drive and he has 170 AP. I'm just like lost for words. Where is this AP coming from? 40 plus 75 is 115. How did 115 turn to 170? And I read all his abilities, none of it gives AP. The only thing I can think of is his runes. His runes, maybe Eyeball Collection, maybe the 2 runes, the AP runes. That's 16 right there. Still doesn't add up. And by AP runes, I mean Adaptive Force. He gets the journey in, gets binded by Lux. Then he ults Lux back. The Q doesn't quite reach. But now that he has Cosmic Drive, he can spam those Qs. He's gonna get stun after stuns in teamfights. Gets another journey. Couldn't save the Kindred, unfortunately. Well, the Kindred's ult's still on cooldown. His team has to back away. This looks like a bit of a disaster. It's a 1 for 2 there. But Bard does live again. So I do want to note that he buys 1 control ward. As a wise support once said, you should always carry 2 control wards. And speak of the devil, would you look at that? Another control ward, so. It looks like he is going for that Frozen Heart as well. And most supports would just stay at 5 items. At least the high elo ones usually stay at 5 items and just keep buying control wards because nothing is more valuable than vision for your team. And especially in high elo where vision really matters, it makes or breaks fights. And upcoming fights especially. So you want to make sure you have pink wards at all times to secure every objective. Okay, see how they didn't have vision? Because red team had the control ward down, so Lux just scouted with R. I'm gonna see what Bard does here. Goes for auto, goes for a Q and gets the stun on Renekton. Gets those autos off. Ults down onto Jinx, so I noticed the trend here is he's ulting Jinx. But I noticed at other times he also just ults like clumped up enemies and then gets the stun off even if it's not the carry. So it's situational. But a general rule is, yeah, ult the enemy, carry, get stuns off. Also, if you're chasing, open up that journey so that your team can all just enter in and continue the chase. Oh, lives with 1 HP again. Feels good to be Bard. But Bard likes to do that kind of thing, you know. If he knows his limits, he can just go in for the craziest plays, and he knows how much he can take before he gets out. So it looks like he's not going to stand around and hit the Baron. Baron will probably splash damage onto him and he just dies or gets executed. Not a good time, just go back and refresh your Shard of True Ice. Walk straight towards Dragon and start warding it up. Start collecting chimes. You're more valuable that way than just standing there autoing Baron when the team fight's over. You're not there to zone anyone, so might as well just get something useful done. You don't do damage to the Baron either. No use in staying there. So right here. Goes for ward. Pulls the dragon out. Silly enemy goes for 2 control wards. Control wards can't be disabled, so there's no point in having 2 of them in the same spot. Echo goes in. Oh, misses the ult, unfortunate. Kindred picks up the dragon. Bard is hanging back. He puts a journey up here so that people, his teammate Echo can escape if needed. Tries to go for a Q stun there. Doesn't quite get it. With Cosmic Drive, he can just keep spamming his abilities. Spam your W, spam your Q. Just off of cooldown. See how now it's constantly off of cooldown. So it must feel really good to be a Bard player with Cosmic Drive. So he completes his Frozen Heart here. It's going to be a huge purchase and most likely the end of his purchases. But I did notice I picked this game in particular because he started to go for an item beyond these 5. But most of the games he'll just stick with these 5 items. And maybe Banshee's Veil instead, or Veil rather. Okay, so now that they have Baron, they're ramming down into the enemy base. Enemy team's gonna respawn Renekton in 30 seconds, so I'm wagering that because it's Challenger game, this is the final team fight and whoever wins is gonna carry it home. Whoever loses is just gonna lose the game because late game you just fight ends and then they just push for the victory. That's what happens. So now I was gonna see how Bard is gonna prep for the victory here. I say this will be one of, if not the final fight. Although as I was saying that, I have the timeline up, so this is just anti-spoiler. Okay, they're going to get the top tower uncontested. I'm surprised Bard's not throwing down more W's. He threw down another W for himself. Oh, Kane got a double kill, so team trolled. Now it's 3v5. Looks like they have to back away. This isn't the victory march after all. So Bard collected a chime, so he's really fast. Oh, mistimed that. Oh, gets a really nice ult into a stun. Very beautiful catch. That surprised the enemy team. That was a really nice ult. So you use ult on escaping enemies as well, or on carries during team fights. So these are just general rules to follow. But I'm sure each situation is different, and he might have a lot more insight if I was to ask him questions directly. Like what situations to ult what, or the main situations anyway, the ones that matter. But it looks like in team fights, ult carries, ult clumps of enemies, set up for a Q. Early game, make sure you Q with a purpose, don't just randomly throw out Qs. Goes for another journey. Looking for more chimes, I presume. And does anyone know what item this giant belt is going to build into? I'm really curious, because most of the games he doesn't build anything beyond those 5 items. So, Giant's belt. What do you guys think? Deadman's? The dream? I hope so. But it could be anything. It could be a Warmogs for all I know. It could be, yeah, whatever else builds out of Giant's belt. So this is always a part of the support's role, is to wait around for the your own team to really just respawn group up so you can have something done. But right now, ult's the carry, ult's the tower. Really nice, well played. Gets a W on the teammate, on allies. Let's go for more orders and more Qs. That's a 4-man down. Looks like they can close out the game. Just gonna go wherever there's more minions. Minions bot lane. Don't know if they can end off of this one cannon wave though. 20 seconds before they respawn. Renekton's going in with the ult, just trying to stall, but instantly gets blown up. Team goes for the next tower. They're gonna respawn in 7 seconds. No. It's not going to happen. They're going to end the game off just like that. So yeah, once it gets around the 30-minute mark, you want to prep yourself and make sure you know that this is the final fight. There's going to be not many more chances, so start potting up, getting your elixirs, especially if you're getting to high elo or you know that you can close out a game and just end it. And if you're in lower elo and your team doesn't want to end it, you just ping on the tower. On my way. Ping on the tower. Everyone's dead. End the game. Like that. But although this one was really close, so they just had a lot of damage to take down towers and also instantly kill Renekton, so that means they're really well farmed too. Hopefully you guys had some really good insight from this video, and let me know what you guys want to see in the next video. I'm going to be reviewing more like champions, so if you have a certain champion that you want to learn, I'll try to find the best player out there, review a VOD of his, and then pass on that knowledge and wisdom to you guys. Anyways, thank you so much for watching to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.